I feel sorry to the fans because the fight is boring. The fight is boring. Like that's not the fans expecting to us.
Manny Pacquiao mocked Floyd Mayweather for challenging Terence Crawford, saying fans don't deserve such a dull matchup. According to Pacquiao, the fight would be boring and feel like nothing more than an exhibition. He reminded people that Mayweather has been retired for years and hasn't had a real, serious bout in a long time, which makes the idea pointless and disappointing for boxing.
Pretty certain Terence Crawford in his brain is saying to himself, I could beat this dude. You know what I'm saying? If he actually goes through with it, he'll be 38 years of age next Sunday.
There's a guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, well, so I'm gonna fight. You beat the shark, you beat the wolf.
Manny Pacquiao did not hold back when speaking about Floyd Mayweather. He said he actually feels pity for the retired champion, claiming that Mayweather's focus is no longer on the spirit of boxing but mainly on money. Pacquiao believes Floyd's return to the ring has nothing to do with building a legacy or testing his skills, but only about cashing in on flashy exhibition matches. He pointed out that the rumored fight with Terence Crawford looks like a business deal driven by greed rather than a real competition. To Pacquiao, this attitude drains the heart out of boxing, turning it into a stage performance where fighters pose like celebrities instead of stepping in as true warriors ready for battle.
The fight is boring. Like that's not the fans expecting to us. I mean, as a fighter, if I'm a fan, of course I want to see a good fight, like changing fight, not a passion show.
The announcement of a 2026 showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson sent shockwaves through the boxing community. Experts were quick to note that this contest is not about two athletes competing at their prime, but more of a money-driven spectacle. The fight is being promoted as a tune-up for Mayweather before a possible clash with Terence Crawford later that same year. Analysts agree both events are built around financial rewards, with record-breaking pay-per-view sales expected. Tyson still carries legendary appeal, while Mayweather's global brand ensures massive attention. Despite lacking true sporting value, the matchup will dominate headlines and attract worldwide audiences.
Shock the world, not me, but shock the world. This past Saturday, Mexican Independence Day weekend, what he took on defeated another first ballot Hall of Famer, but he essentially jumped up 3 weight classes, technically 2, from 154 to 168, but only had 1 fight at 154 last August against Israel Majamov. Terence Crawford defeated Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight, and the reigning, at the time, super middleweight world champion, undisputed world champion. And Terence Crawford beat him handily and convincingly. And because he beat him so easily, now the 63 win, 3 loss, 2 draw, 39 win by way of knockout, biggest threat has been now imposed on Terence Bud Crawford. And that's the Mexican Ecuadorian monster, David Benavidez, who is a 2-division undefeated world champion, is the 2-time WBC super middleweight and reigning WBC light heavyweight, 175-pound champion, who has a record of 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout. He stands 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. This is a fight that David Benavidez has been calling for Canelo Alvarez when he was at 168, and Canelo Alvarez strategically maneuvered around him. But Canelo Alvarez is 5'7", with a 70-inch arm reach, started his career at 147 pounds, made his real name at 154 pounds. He's not a big guy, okay? And styles make fights. Benavidez is 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. His last fight at 168 against Demetrius Andrade, he rehydrated to 193. So he's a big guy. Canelo Alvarez probably rehydrate to 182, maybe 185 max, right? He's not a big guy, right?
Terence Crawford has often spoken with deep respect for Manny Pacquiao. He said Pacquiao's career is unmatched in boxing history, highlighting how the Filipino legend won titles in several weight classes while regularly facing larger opponents and beating the odds. Crawford believes Manny's achievements were not only historic, but nearly impossible to repeat. In his view, Pacquiao reached greatness in a unique era, taking on risks and challenges that few fighters would have dared to attempt.
Now, in the beginning of this conversation, you say, I don't like boastful people. How was it like fighting Mayweather then? Did he get on your nerves? Because I feel like he's a little bit more boastful than the people you might be wanting to hang out with.
Yeah, he's boastful. I think his God is the material things, money, everything like that. I'm pretty with him because I want to share the word of God in him if he believe God.
Yeah. I've heard he's a generous man. I think he's done good things. I think, he kind of reminds me of like a lot of people are like this, by the way, including myself. I'm not just saying him. I'm including myself. The man who goes up to Jesus and says, what should I do to get into heaven? He says, sell all your belongings. And he walked away crying because he couldn't sell his belongings.
Exactly.
The possibility of Terence Crawford taking on David Benavidez has quickly become a hot topic among boxing fans. Benavidez is regarded as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport, bringing size, youth, and relentless aggression to the ring. Many believe such a matchup would push Crawford in ways no opponent ever has. Still, nothing has been officially confirmed, leaving the idea in the realm of speculation. The buzz reflects fans' desire for real, high-stakes battles rather than celebrity-driven exhibitions.
Broadcast for Jake and Tyson, and some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to pull the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Trainer Greg Hackett praised Terence Crawford after his remarkable victory over Canelo Alvarez, calling it a defining moment in modern boxing. He described Canelo as the shark of the sport, a dominant force who ruled the ring with power and skill for many years. For Hackett, Crawford's ability to not only fight Canelo but break him down completely signaled a major shift at the top of the boxing world. Defeating a man once considered untouchable now makes Crawford the new predator, the fighter every contender must fear. Hackett's comments also raised an important question. What comes next? If Crawford could overcome the most dangerous opponent of his era, then who is left to truly test him? Fans are now debating whether Crawford will chase new challenges or retire, while standing at the absolute peak of his dominance.
Because you got to remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, Like, all right, who else I'm going to fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Right. Damn. Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit got to make sense. Like you said, you be the shark, and then you be the wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, there is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, to me, it don't make sense. But that's
really
what.
A monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend. But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Your line of suits, get your money, man. Go ahead and get the easy money, man. You ain't got to sweat no more.
What's up,
Not saying you ain't got to work, you ain't got to sweat. He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody. The fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's because when a guy see himself up here and then is fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore, when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious, and he's like, man, this ain't even that. But your coach like, listen, you could get fucked up. I'm telling you, you don't want to listen. Then you go in there and fight that guy. Then you get fucked up. I seen it happen.
Most analysts agree that Terence Crawford's dominant win over Canelo Alvarez was a defining moment in his career, one that ended any lingering debate about his legacy in boxing. Before this fight, Crawford had already earned wide respect, especially after his decisive victory over Errol Spence, where he completely controlled the action and silenced those who questioned the strength of his past opponents. Yet defeating Canelo carried even greater weight. For years, Canelo was regarded as one of the sport's pound-for-pound kings, a champion who conquered multiple divisions and often took on bigger, stronger challengers. Crawford didn't just meet that test. He dismantled Canelo in a way few thought possible. The performance proved that his abilities extend beyond any single weight class or style of opponent. With his adaptability, technical brilliance, and mental toughness on full display, Crawford left no doubt. Today, he is recognized as one of the rare fighters who has overcome every challenge placed before him.